Mark Sargent has been an ever-present flat earther online since the early 2010s, and it all started with his Flat Earth Clues series. So what would happen then if a prominent flat earth debunker decided to debunk every single one of those flat earth clues? Well, you're watching what would happen, because we go again with episode 14. Hello all and welcome along to another video with me, Simon Dan. Thanks very much for joining me. Before we begin with today's video though, I was reading earlier how renewable energy now produces more electricity than coal for the first time ever. And I was reading that story on Ground News, which was actually founded by a former NASA engineer called Harleen Kaur, who worked on the James Webb Space Telescope. Now, Ground News combines stories and articles from thousands of outlets, local and national, in one place so readers can see the full picture of what's being reported around the world. As you can see here, Ground News shows you if there's any political leanings for each publication. And with this instance, with the story on the renewable energy, we can see that it's mainly centre driven with 121 total news sources. Now, for every story you get a quick visual breakdown of the news outlet that's covering it, what their political bias is, how factual the source is, which entity owns the source, and which countries are covering the story. Now, Ground News is also gaining notoriety for its work. They were recently recognised by the Nobel Peace Centre for their impact on media literacy, saying that it's an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers and expand your worldview, which is exactly why we use Ground News here as well. You can see every side to every story with international perspectives that are hard to find, so then you can make informed decisions where you can read, watch and share the best information available. And Ground News is mission centric too. It's not about eliminating bias, but providing better transparency. And they're funded by their community, not by big ads or investors. So go to ground.news/Simon, stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Subscribe through my link in the description for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. Right, on with today's video then, which, as you know from the intro, is episode 14 of Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues and me debunking it. This one is called The Coat of Credibility. Away we go.
For most of us, getting dressed means just putting on something that gets us through the day. For others, it's projecting forward a subtle, or not subtle, reflection of our personality. But for some, it's a uniform, a garment that displays literally their position in society. We see them all the time: firemen, law enforcement, school teacher. And the clothes over time reinforce the ideas of that position or career, similar to the bell of Pavlov's dog. We see the uniform, and the idea behind the institution is imprinted onto the wearer. Without knowing anything about the person, we see bravery, protection, educational excellence.
Now, as usual with some of Mark's Flat Earth Clues, this intro is a bit of a mystery. I'm not entirely sure where we're heading, but I'm 99% certain it's not going to end in peer-reviewed science.
And there are many variations of these types. One uniform is, however, unique, and is the focus of this clue. It is the lab coat, or what I like to call the coat of credibility.
Ah, there it is. We've moved from firefighters to scientists' coats. I suspect this is going to be something along the lines of how we all appeal to authority because we trust the scientists and what they say. Something like that.
The coat of credibility is, by all accounts, nothing special. It's normally white, but sometimes can be a light shade of blue, about 40 inches long, may or may not have pockets, and really serves no functional purpose. It can't protect you from fire, has no tactical value, and doesn't have any built-in accessories to help you in a lab.
Mark says the lab coat serves no purpose, except it does. It protects your skin and clothes from chemical spills, cross-contamination, and all the fun ways that experiments can go wrong. It's literally personal protective equipment.
It does have a special ability that until now you may not have noticed. It makes people smarter. Well, maybe not literally more intelligent. You're not going to understand calculus by just putting on the coat, but people around you will subliminally pick up on the visual cue. This is because the media over the years has reinforced the idea through television and movies. Time and time again, when you want to portray someone on screen as very intelligent, you have to put them in a lab setting.
Right, the magic coat. So now we're at the part where Mark says you don't get smarter wearing a coat like that, but everyone else thinks they're smart because the TV told them so. Except of course you don't need a coat or a Hollywood budget to prove that the Earth is round. You can measure things like angles and distances, tides and star positions with kitchen table gear. In fact, some of the most famous experiments in history were done by people wearing normal clothes. Evidence doesn't care what you're wearing.
And that's what we see. Geeky lab assistant, evil genius, scientist on the verge of a breakthrough, young genius, older genius, they all wear the coat. And the coat can also function as a symbol for general higher education, even if it's not test tubes and electrodes. Doctors often wear the same type of coat to reflect their extra years of graduate work. And you say all these people have earned the right to wear the coat. They've had the schooling and deserve to wear the uniform. And the actors, of course, get a pass because they are portraying a highly intelligent person who has absorbed all the university material. But wait, that's where things can go too far. Because where do we draw the line between actor and academic?
The difference between an actor and an academic isn't the wardrobe, it's the science and the evidence. An actor can play a doctor can save your life. An actor can play a scientist can predict an eclipse to within a second. Something flat earthers still can't manage, by the way.
Take this guy, for example. Some of you know him, and some do not. He received a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and then ditched it immediately to become an actor. The acting career was slow going until he put on the coat and started talking to kids about science. Keep in mind, he is not a licensed educator or a scientist of any kind. He just played one on TV.
But he does have a science-based degree. Most actors who play scientists in TV shows or films do not.
But then something strange happened. Some of the media, who remembered him from their childhood, brought him on to answer light science questions. And because he was an actor, it played well. So he was brought on again and again. People started believing, at least subliminally, he was a scientist. Here he is at NASA, and an interview on climate change, and talking politics, and a march for science, and... you're killing me, Bill. Killing me. Would any of this have happened without the coat? Not a chance.
Bill Nye is a science communicator first and foremost. His whole career has been about getting young people interested in science. Not doing original peer-reviewed research. You don't need a PhD to accurately explain Newton's laws or why the sky is blue. Anyone can communicate science if they do it accurately. And Bill's coat didn't magically grant him a platform, by the way. He earned credibility on his own merits by explaining science clearly to a generation of young people. So far, Mark's flat earth clue is basically sometimes TV people wear costumes.
It was the coat that gave him credibility when there was none, and turned a small-time actor into one of the ranking faces of science. No published papers, no graduate work, just the coat. The white coat, symbolizing an elite intellect, separating the men of science from how they see the rest of us. They are above reproach. We are not. They engage in raising the bar of civilization while we engage in other things. The white coat protects them, transforms them, regardless of who they are. Man, woman, black, white, Oompa Loompa. Everyone who puts on the coat immediately becomes more credible.
I totally disagree. If a flat earther put on a white coat like that, then they would not look more credible. In fact, they'd look less credible, if that's even possible.
See this guy here? He sells water products for a living. He's also a Flat Earth member and was at a large meetup in Los Angeles. He put on the coat, held a clipboard, spoke with confidence, and at one point held a captive audience, including me. Was it his stylish good looks? Was it his message? Was it the hat? You decide.
I'd say the clipboard is more powerful than the coat. There's something about people with clipboards, like they know exactly what they're doing at any given moment. And yes, in this instance, I have to admit the clipboard does make this flat earther look a bit more credible. But then I noticed that you were stood next to him, Mark, and there's a bit of a drag effect there. I'm joking, of course.
Bravery, protection, intelligence. What's the difference between the three? You can't pretend to be a fireman or a cop. You can, however, use the coat to convince people of just about anything regarding science, including the shape of the world itself.
You can't fake the Earth's shape by wearing a lab coat. The globe model works because anyone can test it. You don't need a uniform to do that. This whole argument boils down to people sometimes trust experts, therefore the Earth is flat. That's not evidence. In fact, it's so far from evidence that it's funny.
People say that it's been proven for hundreds or even thousands of years that the Earth is a globe. Proven by whom? The men in the white coats? They didn't prove anything. They told you it was a globe, and you bought it, because we believe the world that is presented to us.
Here's the problem with all of this. The Earth being a globe wasn't handed to us by men in science coats. It was measured by Eratosthenes over 2,000 years ago, with some sticks, a well and some maths. It's confirmed every day by airline routes and satellite communication, GPS, star charts, lunar eclipses. None of that requires a coat. It just requires observation and measurement. The globe wasn't told to us. We can verify it ourselves. In shorts and a t-shirt, with a ruler, a clock and a sun. That's the difference between science and storytelling.
So if you see me wearing a white lab coat from time to time, understand why. It's to make a point that not everything is what it first appears to be, and clothes do not always maketh the man.
Certainly not in your case, Mark. That's for sure. Well, there we go, everyone. What do we think of that flat earth clue there from Mark? Let me know in the comments below. As I say, we're all done and dusted for another one. Thanks so much for watching today. As ever, it's appreciated. If you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the thumbs up button too. Just enough time to once again thank Ground News for sponsoring this video. Remember, go to ground.news/Simon to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Click my link in the description to subscribe for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. I've been Simon Dan. Hope yourselves a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for part 2 of Eric Dubay's 10 technologies that prove the Earth is flat. See you then.